I'm super excited. We have a very special episode. So we have a special guest. We have two special guests, actually. We have Rashaad, who's actually going to be co-hosting with me today. Super excited to have him here. Thank you so much for only 3 hours ago agreeing to help me out here. Jeffrey's out. He's a little busy. And so we want to bring Rashaad, another co-parenting dad. Introduce yourself. Tell everyone about yourself.
All right. Well, I'm Rashaad. So first of all, thank you for having me. I know we've talked when we met at our gym.
Yes.
Shout out to Athletic Forum.
Woo!
We met, I think it was in the gym in the sauna.
Yeah. There's a lot of good things happening in that sauna.
Conversations, but I know you were talking about, I think you were talking about your podcast and you going through your licensing.
Yeah, my certification.
Certifications and all that. And that's how our conversation started and evolved into what you were doing, your project. I think you either sent me a link or I looked on Instagram and I found you. And through our passings, you invited me to be a guest to sit on the hot seat, which I haven't had a chance to.
Well, you're not really on the hot seat. You're going to help me put this man in the hot seat, who we will introduce in a second. But go ahead.
But again, Rashaad, I am a co-parent. I have two children. I have a 13-year-old daughter, Dorian, and a 11-year-old son, Cameron, who just graduated 5th grade today. So shout out to you, Cameron. You ain't gonna tell all my
you don't gotta do that.
You don't have to do all that. That's privacy issues.
Yes.
But then I have in our, what do you call our family, our co-parent,
blended family.
Our blended family
yes.
is of my girlfriend Reba. I have my co-parent Valerie and her partner Kimberly, Mimi. So she is in a not bisexual, she's a lesbian relationship. So our co-parenting dynamics is pretty interesting. It's pretty different from a lot of people, and we have our kids 1 week on, 1 week off.
Okay.
So it's a solid.
And to get you bring both kids 1 week. Okay, got it.
Both kids 1 week on, 1 week off. Okay. We switch on Thursdays.
Okay. We switch on Fridays.
Nice.
That's what's up. Yeah, well, we definitely have to have you on so we can actually put you in the hot seat properly, and hopefully maybe some of your co-parenting team. That'll be awesome. But in the meantime, thank you so much for being here. We've got Dom here. Hey. Super excited to. I've been trying to get Dom on the podcast for a hot second. So I met Dom during the launch of our first podcast, not Two X's and a Baby with my baby daddy, but Jeffrey and we launched X's and Babies podcast last year. And Dom was the lead tech to help us get this launch party going at the Langston Hughes Performing Arts Center. And so, super helpful, super great. But then he shared with me that he's a co-parent as well. And so tell us a little bit about you and all that jazz and your co-parenting journey.
All right. So hi, I'm Dominique, 38 years old. I have a 13-year-old child who is a black second generation transgender non-binary 7th grader, at least for another week.
Okay.
Here in Seattle. And I'm 38 now, so I've been co-parenting this whole time. It's been a wild journey. I made it through COVID without any new kids and without any new animals. So I basically won COVID.
You won.
Shout out to vasectomies.
Shout out to vasectomies.
Do you have? Is that personal?
Yes.
Yes. Whoa.
That is a little personal.
I went in to get mine at 18, and the doctor told me I had to have 2 kids, or be 25.
Really?
And I was like, but I don't wanna.
That's
sent me away. Yeah.
You have to be at a limit to have a vasectomy.
Yeah, there was at least it was back in. Hold on. But the before time, I don't remember. I can't do minus 20 math. This was in the early odds.
Fellas, get a vasectomy.
If you don't want kids,
it's reversible, right?
No, don't go in thinking they are. Some of them can be, but the human body's a weird thing. So when you go in there cutting stuff, sometimes it's permanent. But if you don't want kids, go adopt one if it changes. We can find more kids.
Right, there's lots of little kids running around.
So we are, I guess, kind of the special thing about our journey and all of this is we are leaving the country in August of 2024.
Okay.
We are.
Oh, wow.
We've done the math. It was when Kyle Rittenhouse got acquitted and then had 2 senators fighting over him for which staff he would be on and sold his life rights for millions of dollars that I realized the heroes of this country are not heroes I can stand by. And we decided that something we'd been joking about forever, us leaving, was official and we are going to go. We changed everything in our lives. My co-parent finished her principalship certification, finished her principalship certification, and then took a job down in Renton. I quit my job so that I could be the primary parent after 12 years of having the cushiest parent life. When your co-parent is a teacher at your kid's school, their whole life is parallel. You want to know where one is? It's where the other one is. Okay. So that's when I was out there on the hustle life. I had 13 jobs. My W-2 stack was thick. And we made it all work in many different ways. But when this decision happened and she quadrupled her salary and doubling mine, it was no longer viable for me to be somebody who could be out in them streets trying to make that money. I had to be the one at home. So I now know all the doctors' names and I know where all the appointments are. And I know this, that, and the other thing. And a lot of the old rules that we played by have been reversed. We always had a rule. Number one rule in our household was mom's always right. It just made everything easier. It made everything simpler. Like, listen, she's in your life. She's in your life 19 hours out of the day and the rest you're asleep. Why are you arguing right now? I can't save you. I will go to work and then it's just the two of you. What do you want me to do? I'm only but one man. And so a lot of these things now, like before I got here, we actually had a chat out in the lot before we knew that we were going to be on this together. Before I got here, my kid had lied to me. They wanted to play Minecraft with their cousin and they had to fold their laundry. So they took all their laundry and stuffed it under their bed. Now, because I had suspicions in my heart, it's a 13-year-old. They're supposed to lie to me. It's their job. Because I had suspicions in my heart, I had touched each piece of laundry that had gone into their room that day. Because I was like, today feels like the day. There's something in the wind. There's something in the air. The audacity is a little thick in Ballard today. So I had touched each piece. So when I went and I looked in all their drawers, none of those were in there. I went downstairs and looked at the dirty clothes pile. Half of them were there. And I was like, where are the rest of the clothes? And then I get the long truth. All of the truth. I get truth about things I didn't ask about. I know things about other people's families at this point. My child, bless their heart, like we can't invite them to the heist because they will give them our address.
Everything.
They all play a role.
They can't be the one that gets caught, and they don't run that fast. So hopefully we'll get them on the heist someday. But so I had that moment. So I came in here today with a little bit of a extra heavy heart because we had to have this conversation about them really assessing is playing Minecraft with their cousin worth more than losing my trust for a moment? And how does this balance out? And we're in the middle of a bunch of conversations, right? Like teenagehood, like this is it. I am glad that I grew up at the time that I have so that I am in the era of soft parenting and softer parenting because there are entire sections of my life where I remember the fear in my heart.
I'm saying the fear.
The fear in my heart. And my child does not fear me. And it feels so good to have a child that does not fear me because we work together. Our entire mentality in our family is we are on the same team. If we are not working together, if we are not trusting each other, then we cannot accomplish the greatness that we all aspire to get to. You will not do your best work if you are being constantly monitored and watched by us or getting haunted by us. You will constantly, because I remember that. I was a weasel.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah. I don't even want to be that parent. I literally don't want to be a helicopter parent. Like I just don't have it in me. I wouldn't micromanage anybody in my life. So I'm not going to start with my son.
I'm going to ask you a real question right now.
Let's go.
Do you remember the first time your child actually hurt your feelings? Not just disappointed you, but like actually hurt your feelings.
I feel
Has it happened yet? Has it happened yet?
Oh, there's probably some time, but I feel like my son is like, I don't know if it really hurt my feelings because I know he's a child. I'm able to put in perspective. He's 8.
Oh, yeah.
But he said something like, "You're one of the best moms ever." I'm like, "One of the fuck? I'm your only mom. You have a stepmom, but there's a qualifier in front of that. You're kind of okay. You're doing all right. Right? You on the top 2.
MySpace was your top 8.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. He put you in your top 8 moms.
Yo, if you and Tom sitting on the top 8.
Forget Tom.
You and Tom.
Anyway, so that stung a little. I had to do a little. I was like, okay, let's just clarify something.
Yeah.
But yes, go ahead.
Yeah,
give other mom figures. I said give other mom figures, but I'm your only mom.
But they hurt my feelings. There's a time. Yeah, here it is. Went to my kid's school. My oldest, my 13-year-old, went to school, and they had the picture of family time, like the picture of family, and it was my co-parent, her partner, and my 2 kids, and not me. And I was
Chopped liver.
whoa, hey, like, and she was like, oh, well, that's all the picture. That's the picture I had. Hold on, I gave you this iPhone. I sent you 3,000 photos. Every photo I took of you, I had since you were born. I sent you.
There's no excuse. You got options.
You have options. You didn't like, yeah. So that was like, yo. Yeah. So I don't know if it hurt, but that stung
a little bit.
So okay. Don't keep this photo. Here's all the pictures.
Right.
Yeah.
You can Photoshop me in here, put a little paste.
Yeah, but you're not going to erase my history.
Here's a brown crayon.
Draw me in.
Figure it out.
Get the locks right too.
I demand photorealism as recompense.
I'm that. You're going to keep me in all.
Yeah.
That's family.
History.
Yeah.
So why do you ask that? Yeah.
So it was because I think this was a turning point in my parenting. It was before I had taken over. It was we're talking first 4 months of COVID. So for us, our kind of snow protocol, our emergency protocol was that when something started coming down, I would move into the house with them so that we'd all be together for anything that was going on. So if it snows coming, I would just go and I would live on the couch and we'd all just be under the same roof because it's Seattle. If it snows here, I'll see you in 2 weeks. Don't die is not an option when it's your kid. Right. And I was living on the other side of town. Okay. I had just moved in when I was playing Dungeons and Dragons with my roommates and instantly closed down everything. Like the whole thing closed down. So it comes on my phone. I get a call from my co-parent Sylvia. Inslee shut everything down. I'm like, well, this was a wonderful game. Roll the dice one more time. My character lives. I walk downstairs. I pack a bag for 2 weeks because this is going to be an easy breezy thing, and then I'm out. And I go in. I move in. I get on the couch. I get all settled in. We're all da 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 da. And I am the gamer parent. I'm the nerd parent. I have my gaming laptop. I got all my stuff. Da da da. My co-parent had bad experiences around video games, doesn't really care about them. They were never part of her coming up. I was the latchkey kid where, Cloud Strife was my first dad. Final Fantasy VII was raised me. And so I go to bat for them, and I'm like, this is something that we can do. We can do it in safe ways. We can get them on Minecraft. We can control the server. We can do all these things. We won't let them onto Roblox yet because that's out in the public. We do all this stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm gonna need a consultation.
We're Minecraft. We're a Minecraft family. Hardcore Minecraft. Then I'll just not jump in, but we do Minecraft. Definitely not. Well, they just started getting Roblox, but Minecraft because it teaches them computational thinking.
Yeah.
It teaches them how to think like an algorithm. If this, then that.
And are you an engineer?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I want to teach them programming algorithm. That was the easy. I watched a documentary that said that Minecraft teaches the kids to be the best hackers.
Okay. Yeah, and also I like it because I own the server. Yep. It's only my friends that are on it.
Do I own a server? What's the server?
Yeah, you can. You
know what?
We're gonna send you a link, Bill.
The kids out there in the streets.
My poor child.
You can set up a realm, your own realm. They have a hosted server like that.
I need a consultation.
Yeah. We'll set you up.
Okay, thanks, y'all. Okay, continue. Sorry, my bad.
And let them just have at it.
Yeah.
My son was text message. He's like, I got a date at 1:00 tomorrow. He met them at 10 p.m. at night. I had no idea who this person was. That's when I was like, I thought all the locks were on, but let's turn these little things on. I was like, so your date is canceled. I don't know who the
Roblox is in the streets. Roblox is the streets.
Yeah.
I was like, who did you meet at 10 o'clock at night? Oh my God.
You said your child is 13.
Yeah.
Have you taught them the internet safety? Have you had those?
Yeah.
Because I've had those conversations with mine. I was like, hey, daddy's the largest person in your life, right? Like nobody. When we go in, daddy's usually the biggest person. Like I'm like, I can protect you here. Right, I got you, Daddy. Here, I have you, but online, I can't protect you. Right? But you have to have tough. I'm not gonna tell you be afraid to get online, but just somebody might say online people will say the worst things to you. But you just gotta
listen.
They might say the best things to you, and you think they're a whole nother person.
But just I try to explain that. So don't give up this information and all this because my son was just telling me how how he puts these fake dates, these birthdays, and fake information to get all these 18, to get on the adult sites to sign up for accounts. So I was like, hold on, you put all this information? He was like, yeah, but it's better than putting it in my real information so I can stay safe. Huh.
You know what?
Who teaching you know what? Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
You got a Facebook account, but I'm not mad at you. Yeah.
If you're gonna do it, be smart.
Also, friend me. Also, no Finstas.
Yeah.
You come at me. If I find you with a Finsta, we're gonna have issues.
We're gonna have issues. But his reasoning was very sound. Like, you say to protect myself, so I put in this extra, my aliases and changed birthday. Oh, well.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, I was a kid in the AOL Messenger, like ASL. Like I freaking, what was it? It was Milado 203. We didn't know better. I would never now, but we didn't know better back in the day. I was raised by my white family, and we didn't know better. Don't do it. You know, we could cut this part out.
Shout out.
So I went to bat for my kid about getting them on Minecraft, about doing all that sort of stuff, about being able to bring that in a way that would be safe. They're 13 now, so they're 9 turning 10 at this time. They're at that kind of turning age. Some of their friends have cell phones. They don't have one yet, but it's this constant tug of war between the person who was the primary parent and ran all that sort of stuff and how I can assist. So it always went primary parent, counsel. And while it is swapped right now, there's a lot of that stuff that is still kind of ingrained in that, where it's like because parenting is so dynamic.
Yes.
If you can't get a minute-to-minute decision on something, then and if you can't trust the person that's making that decision to have your back at that point, to have your best, even if you don't agree. There are times where a decision's been made, and then I go to that night, and I'm like, okay, the council is now called. We would like to bring up the decision that was made 4 hours ago about the Minecraft, and we'll have these conversations. So I went to bat for them, and then within 24 hours, they had snuck out of their room, grabbed their stuff, figured out the login from the little like grease smudge on the screen or whatever.
That.
Kid,
your kid,
and
I think that's I encourage all that.
Yeah, and I
encourage them to hack into all this stuff.
Oh yeah, but they had betrayed my trust in this moment when I was going to bat for them, and so that broke me for a second.
You saying,
and it actually hurt my feelings. They had said crazy things to me earlier. They'd done stuff. They'd hit me. They'd done all this stuff. I'm fine with that, but they had hurt my feelings. And then I had to decide how to respond.
Got it.
And the only tapes I had playing in my head were the tapes of my parents.
Those things.
And I can't
upside your head. God damn it, you must. Yeah.
And so I stopped.
Like y'all grew up when you got smacked all in your.
Dude, I was an African American male born in 1985, raised by an all white, slightly racist family. I didn't have feelings until the early aughts after I started therapy. Like those were beaten out of me at a very young age because we grew up on a farm. We rode horses. We did all sorts of stuff, and Cowboy Up was basically the motto. We were not allowed to cry. We were not allowed to show emotions. We were not allowed to have feelings.
If you cry,
I will give you something to cry about.
Yeah. So the white family said that too?
Oh yeah.
Oh really? Wow, that's transracial.
Oh, yeah. No, and where it comes from though, is my grandmother Nan, who raised me mostly, bless her heart, passed away a year ago from COVID because that shit's still fucking real. But she was the oldest of a family during the Great Depression era that had 76 foster brothers and sisters in Arizona.
God damn.
She had 76 foster brothers and sisters in Arizona. They were Native, they were Black, they were Mexican, they were others, they were all of them. And she would always tell stories like one time she was out in front of a store while her mom was in there and she had 3 babies with her of all different colors, and some white women walked by sneering at her, and she looked up at her little chocolate baby in hand and said, "It could happen to you." Like if the Wicked Witch of the West had a vibe, my grandmother had it in her back pocket when she needed it.
She's ready with it.
This 70-year-old woman jumped a table and choke slammed me against a wall because I had told her to chill, and that was a trigger word. I was 14.
You learned a lot.
I was against a humidifier and some other contraption against a wall real quick. So I had gotten hurt and I didn't know what to do.
Got it.
And so I couldn't. And so I walked away and I walked into the bedroom, and apparently I was there for about 18 hours. Because I'm just thinking, it's dark. I'm just thinking, like, how do I be the parent I want to be in a moment where I have no examples? My family was a 1990s appropriate parent. Like it was a 1990s, the upside your head, everything like that. I'm the only child of my generation my grandfather had slapped in the face. And this was all stuff that was fine. And I'm sitting there and I'm running through. I'm like, what do I do? And my co-parent came into the room, was like, hi. So my parents being Portuguese, she's first generation here. My parents being Portuguese, this is how they used to treat me. They just got quiet and they wouldn't talk to me until they weren't mad anymore.
And that doesn't help either.
This isn't something that you can do. It's hurting me too.
Oh, and so it's triggering her.
And so within 48 hours, we each had individual therapists and we found a family therapist. Beautiful. So we each had our own corner, and we found this wonderful Black woman, DeHevelyn, to be our family therapist. And over the course of 6 months of the three of us being in therapy, Cipriano and I worked, and Sylvia all worked on the way that we were going to communicate. Okay. We worked on the ways that it was okay for us to treat each other and what our expectations were around being a family unit and a team. And we got new language. Like we talk now about how when they lied to me today, I was like, I would love to let you play Minecraft, but you lied to me to do it. So now my hands are tied. Right. The HR pamphlet is right here. If they lied to you about the thing, it is my job to now deny you that thing until we can have a further conversation. And I have to go record a podcast. I have to go see people. I have to go do stuff. I can't stop because you decided to inconvenience yourself. Okay. So when I come home, I hope that we can have the conversation and get to the rest of this. And maybe this weekend, as school's getting done, we can work on our realm. We can get things in. Right. But I say it now. First, vasectomies. Second, everybody gets therapy. Everybody. That's the first thing is vasectomy.
Yeah, right now. He said it sounds like you don't need the therapy if you get the vasectomy.
That's not true.
God.
Everybody the way
what you got out of that.
The trauma we carry through this life cannot continue.
Oh my God,
I tell my kid, it takes a lifetime to build up trust, but a moment to tear it down.
Ooh, that part.
That one, they little things like my daughter was this year with school is always, she's at her school, this elite private school, so it's all let them do, let them figure it out. Cool, fuck it, I ain't fuck with you this school, you got it. And then it's like, oh well, she's not doing the work. We should talk. And I was like,
what happened to the
what do you want me to talk about?
The gentle, flowy
I told him at the school straight up. I said, I wasn't a good student, so I can't teach her how to be a good student. That's you guys have these master's degrees, PhDs,
right? That's why we sent you here.
You guys teach her that. Yo. But the trust is broke. So I told her, I said, I'm asking you, are you getting your work done? You doing home? You telling me, yeah, Daddy. Oh yeah, I'm doing it. And then you got me at the school, like the old school Black parent. Don't have me come up to the school, right? Don't have me come up to the school.
I'm gonna book a therapist session right now. I'm being triggered left and right.
I felt that, because even though I work at home, I wasn't inconvenient. I can go to the school, but I was pissed off that I'm at the school. Why you come here to talk to these people?
Right. That's rule number 3. Unless I really,
Rule number 3: don't make me look like the asshole.
And that was it. Yeah. And that was it. Talking to the teachers because they're telling
you the first to know or the last to know.
And I told you, okay, that was my upset is I don't care how you act with it. That's them. If you get kicked out the school, I save on the tuition, not on me, right? I save the money. I don't care. You go to public school and be pissed off damn, I fucked up that school. Okay. Yeah. That's you. But don't have me looking stupid in front of these people. I'm over here looking at you saying, no, she does. She said she does this. She did all that. They're like, nah. Okay, now you got me looking to that. You fucked my trust up. So.
Yeah. I walk into a room and all of a sudden everybody has eyes at me about something. I look at the kid and I'm just like, what do they know?
Yeah,
what do they need to know? And I I'll walk back out the room. I'll walk back out the room for and be like, okay, you have 2 minutes before this is going to get weird.
So if you're ever in that position where your kid's in major trouble, like police or something, or you're on the team of hey, let's talk and get our story straight.
Yo.
You're on that.
Yeah, no, I think so.
I'm like, let's get our story straight and figure out.
Because we're a team, right? So we always say with exes and babies, right? We talk about being a team when it comes to co-parenting, but I haven't thought about it in terms of we're a team for Dior, but we haven't talked about being a team with Dior.
Interesting.
So I like how you've said that's kind of brought some other perspective to me.
Yeah. It wasn't always that way. What did you do between the ages of 25 and 30? Because I raised a child.
Me too.
And it's exciting.
Oh, really, guys?
Yeah.
23. I had my son at 23.
I had Mike at 30. My first one was 30 because my mom, I was learning him. My mom had me at 30. So
okay, my mom had me at 32.
And in that time, like there was a 5-year gap in there when like again they weren't like I didn't think about it that way. But then as like I think it's when. I guess it's when they wanted a cat or when they needed to start doing chores, when more and more of the house became theirs, when it wasn't baby proofed, when it wasn't not theirs, like actively not theirs. And it was just like, oh, you want to watch your show? Like, oh, you have a TV show? You've ruined my Netflix algorithm? Okay, we got to talk about being on the same team.
Yeah.
Like that's
Get them their little account.
Yeah, when but this was back before we had other profiles. We had a profile.
I remember my Netflix account got messed up, the algorithm, all that stupid ass.
As soon as there was multiple profiles, I made my own.
Quick.
Yeah, real quick. And I was like, no, that's yours. Dominique is you. I am not.
Then I logged into the computer and went and deleted because you can go and delete all the history, the old ones you watch.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Then you go delete the stuff that the kids stuff that they watch. I took all that to get my algorithm back.
Yep, got to take it. We're taking the algorithm back from the children.
Yes.
But yeah, no, it's a wild time. I don't know, parenting. I never wanted to be a parent. I'll be honest about it. I didn't. I was never a thing I wanted.
Me either. It wasn't my. I'm
that's
only child.
The vasectomy came in later.
I'm my mom's only child, so I was raised only child. Shout out to I do have an older brother and a younger sister, but I am essentially an only child and. Yeah, I just wanted to be the fun uncle. I just wanted to be the hey go. But my co-parent,
you had 2 kids.
My co-parent had 2 kids.
Oh, okay.
She had a plan. She had a plan. She said she was gonna have a girl first, then a boy, 2 years apart. She had a plan.
Her manifestation is A game.
Was A game. We got married. Our son is our honeymoon baby. He's born 9 months to the day of our wedding day.
Your life was planned for you.
She said that, and I was joking around on the honeymoon, on the she's like, all right, want to have a baby? I said, you know what? I'll give you 2 weeks. If you get pregnant on this honeymoon the next week, 2 weeks. She was not fucking around.
No,
she was very serious. Had that.
I've
she knew her little ovulation schedule. She's like, all right.
I don't think you understand how far back this plan went. Like you were in 12th grade.
She planned the wedding date just so that the ovulation was like on
she so clueless.
Consulted the moon and the stars like Moana outside.
But she said, she was like, I want a girl first, then a boy, because if I have a boy, then a girl, because when they grow up, the girl's gonna want to be around the older kids, her like his friends, but no girls. If they're older, the girls don't want to hang around the young boy. Like she was that motherfucker was serious.
Oh,
and it is to the T. So shout out to Valerie.
All right. Put Valerie on the top shelf.
A game planner. I love it.
So,
and I'm sorry if this is too far, but who planned the divorce?
She did.
Oh, I just wanted it on camera. I wanted to play.
You got it. No, we get to that.
Oh my God.
She looked at me one day.
Did she give you a thank you for your service?
You sound like
you played your role nicely.
Thank you. So so my ex-wife, when we met, she was just out of a relationship with a woman, like she, quote unquote bisexual, right? I was like, oh, bet I'm just out of a relationship with a woman too. That kind of was the play.
No, it works. I wish
as a bisexual person. Okay, go ahead.
So I was like, oh, okay. But then I remember when we first started dating, she told me from the get-go, I want to let you know I'm always going to be into women. And I'm like, okay, me too.
This could be fun.
Yeah, that motherfucker held true to that. 10 years we were together, she held true. So she came to me one day laying in bed. She said, I don't see myself with a man in my future. I was like, well, what's that mean?
What's that mean for me? I'm a man.
I'm a man in the future. She was like, I don't know, but I don't see.
All of a sudden your stuff was packed.
Yeah,
your car wasn't in the driveway. You were in a different house.
It was a whole different, we'll get to that because the different houses. Well, look, but that was how it was. So she didn't want to see a man. She didn't see a man in the future. And it was like, oh shit. So she was already on, as the therapist said, she was already on step 10 and you was on step 1. I'm still figuring it out. But going to the house, we did move. When we moved out, we were staying in an apartment. We did move into the same apartment complex. I just moved 2 doors down and upstairs.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was an easy relationship. But yeah, that's how. She stuck true to that.
You said fun and easy?
Yeah, it was easy. It was easy. Our co-parent arrangement when it was 2 doors where we were in the same apartment.
Take the elevator upstairs.
We had to walk down the pathway.
Right.
Walk down the pathway and upstairs.
2 doors
forgot
to the
something.
left.
Like we had keys to each other's apartments.
Oh, wow.
Like it was cool. Oh, the kids forgot something. Go get it. Cool. Like it was. Made it real easy.
I'm just getting that right now. I moved into the bottom of the triplex, so we have a stairway between us, an indoor stairway between us. And
what's your schedule? Do you guys have a schedule? You're a team, so you guys just kind of.
Yeah, no.
Oh, yeah, no, you're the primary.
My schedule. Our schedule right now is I make sure the child gets to school and gets home and does their homework and cry in the corner.
So that's so there's no like time. You don't really have time off, do you? Or
no, right now I don't. Again, in the beginning we did everything. Because we were not together. And because everything was kind of in the mix, we got all the paperwork done. I'm also 100% for that. I've talked so many people through it since then. Like
parenting plan.
Okay. Get your parenting plan signed. Get it signed. Get it in. We had it. We had the whole thing. So it used to be that we switched. Because she taught at their school, they had the same schedule. I just had them every other weekend, and I had them 3 times during the week if I was not working a show. But because I was a theater technician, my schedule was basically whenever there was a gig. So I'm working at 13 theaters. I have my own private events. I'm doing all these other things. So I did that I did that pretty hard for a really long time. But now with the big switch, and I'd already been slowing down because of COVID. I guess that was the big thing. The big thing that I realized during COVID was if you can figure it out, be there immediately after school. Kids are so cool when they come home, like right after school, when they have the gossip, when they know when they have things to tell you about, when this, that, and the other happened, when Bethany did this and this kid said that and all this stuff. And all of a sudden I'm just sitting there with popcorn in my kid, like, and I'm just like, I didn't realize you had such fun stories in your weird little life.
There's drama on the recess playground.
I don't get any of that.
Mine's still 8, so he's still sharing.
But it's funny, just to again get back to you, I just told my son today, because again he has graduated 5th grade today, and I was like, hey Cameron, I just want to tell you that it's really been a pleasure to take you to school and drop you off every day for your elementary school. Like for my weeks, I've just because my schedule being in tech, I've been able to have that benefit. I just want to thank you, because I said in 6th grade. It might be different. You might be on a bus, whatever. Because I haven't had to take since middle school. I haven't had to take my daughter to school. We have our rituals, our sayings, and all that. I said, man, it's just been a pleasure. But it's like we're done. But it just really was been a pleasure. So it's staying so just keep that as you're right. It's been a joy to have to pick my son up, to pick them up, wait on his car. But I don't get the talks. How was it? It was cool. But then I realized if you ask me, when my partner asked me after the day, how was work? It was cool. Well, I don't want to talk about
hate that answer.
Work. I know, I know, but no.
As a Scorpio.
I know. I'm a Scorpio.
We have the same birthday, November 9th.
Oh, yeah. You
forgot you're November 9th. Yeah.
What? Oh, my God. You learned a lot in the sauna.
Yeah, see, but no, I forget that. But there's a great book that I had somebody gave me before. Men are like, women like spaghetti, women like waffles. No, sorry. Men are like waffles, women are like spaghetti. And it just talks about how we keep things in compartmentalized. When you talk to us, it's really like, we have little boxes in our head. Everything's how work has a box, our personal life has a box, relationship has a box, everything has a box. And when too many boxes get open, you get frustrated. So you try to keep how's work? Work was great. How's the kids? Kids are cool. Right?
Oh my God, I'm like,
I gotta say though, deconstructing that through therapy has been the greatest gift I've gotten through therapy, because it is much more of a learned response, a culturally learned response, than it is a genetic one. You go through and you look at media, you go through and you look at how father is portrayed. It is, I come home from, still a soft version of the 1950s. We come home from work, we expect this thing, we do this thing, we go to bed, we make love maybe, we have a headache maybe, we whatever. And spending the time deconstructing that compartmentalization so that I could be a more open and honest person, not just with partners, but with my community.
And maybe self.
No, I know too much about me in ways that I didn't want to. Like the compartments were great. I did. I lived in those. And for some people, that's their truth. But for me, it was learned. For me, it was watching my grandfather, watching my uncles, watching those people. Like they had, I
love that context.
And so,
what does it protect you from having compartmentalizing?
So it really protects you from having to have a central ethics framework because you can have your business ethics and your family ethics, and you can do things in work that you would never do with your family because you can keep them separate. And so you end up in situations where when they touch and that frustration comes out, it can also be a version of it, because if you consider, when you consider keeping information lying, it also comes into that, and it becomes these soft lies, and it can become these soft resentments.
You can
and in an era where the most important thing we can do is stop trauma from perpetuating into the next generation, where information finally travels faster than people, and we can catch these things, and we can be like, you know what? No, that isn't a man thing. That is a taught thing. Because I can teach anybody how to compartmentalize. But when I want my kid to be honest, when I want them to be open, when I want to be able to share their world and for them to share mine, I have to stay open, because if I show them that this is where these things belong, how am I going to stop them from falling for the same things that I did?
Right.
For falling into that overwork hustle culture, for building up people's millions where I'm making hundreds, for doing all of the, like, as a recent engager in politics and policy outside of just general anger. Like, as somebody who had to build a cohesive set of beliefs and ethics around what I think the world should be, I didn't have space for those things not to apply.
Okay.
And so I had to build something where everything could work together. And it's been 3-4 years. It's something that I slide into. It's real comfortable. Okay. It's real comfortable compartmentalization. You get to kind of just...
I feel like it removes accountability too.
Oh,
like,
for
I
sure.
feel like...
For sure.
Okay. And then I want to get to your family too. But like... like when I think about men, my experience with men...
over them.
Yeah. So I think about like infidelity, and I think about how like I think a man, when he engages in infidelity, it's not because they don't love you, their primary partner. It's that compartmentalization.
I was going to say that you're absolutely correct. As somebody who was not like in previous times, but you can compartmentalize that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, no, I love, there's no, but like, and this other part of me really needs to do what it's got to do, because maybe there's no connection here. There's some expression needs to be made. I don't know what it is.
That's a real easy.
That's it. Like
that's a real easy segue for me, because I am out in community as a polyamorous person.
Okay, let's go.
And when I was in college in 05 to 09, that word didn't exist in my vocabulary. Didn't exist in my thing. I used to tell all my partners, guy, girl, anything in between, hey, I'm going to cheat on you.
Okay.
I don't want to. It's not something, I don't want to hurt you that way, but you don't want to be with me because I'm going to cheat on you. Okay. This is what's going to happen. I don't know, And it wasn't until I heard of polyamory, because everybody hears of swingers first because it's in movies, but actually hearing about what it would mean to be culturally accountable to a community around your emotional well-being, around your home heart, that really started moving, and that compartmentalization had to go away for that, because my first 5-6 years in the scene, in the lifestyle, with this as my active identity, and seeing people coming into it now, when people are like, I'm polyamorous so I can sleep around, and it's just like, that's not it, bud. But like, you're gonna learn. It's like watching little babies come out and just being like, I don't do it. It's just like, okay, well, you know what? When you're tired,
you said I want some titty.
No, I don't know what I'm gonna do today, or who I'm gonna do today.
We had tequila before this.
I read the receipt. I read the thing. No titties was on the sheet.
I wake up with the same. I want titties.
But getting out there and really having to build a life where everybody works together. So I have 2 nesting partners.
Okay. What's that mean? You gotta break some of these terms down.
I am now. So through the family counseling, Sylvia and I got back together. So Sylvia and I met.
Sylvia's baby mama.
Sylvia baby mama.
Also,
co-parents.
Please feel free to throw in pronouns too.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
I am the whole time.
Okay, cool.
That's why I've been using they.
Yep.
Thank you.
Sylvia and I met 19 years ago. We met in college. It was a college thing. We dated for a little bit. We broke up. We hated each other. We became friends. And 9 years after we had met all of that mess, we hooked up once and had sip. Like that's it. One. God
got it.
Damn time. And it was one of those things where
That's 3, 2, or really just one time.
Yep, really just one time. And I was going back for round 2. 2 months later, because she lived in Seattle, and I'm coming down to Seattle, and she's like, "We got to talk," and I'm like, "Oh no, did she catch feelings? This will be a problem." And she's like, "No, I caught baby." I'm on the ground. No, baby Jesus, no.
Oh my goodness.
And so, and this is something that we talk to everybody about. It's in that moment, she said, "Dominique, I know you didn't want to be a parent. Nobody knows that we had slept together. You can go." This spring break 2023, I went to Tennessee to try to meet my dad. I had met my uncle on Facebook. I had gotten Airbnb, and I had just been like, you know what? If distance was the problem, I'm going to take that away from you, old man. After staying in Memphis, Tennessee for a week, he never showed.
I'm sorry.
And that was so I am dealing with that currently. It is taking up a lot of my space. But because of how I felt about my father, about him not showing up, about him not being a part of my life, I decided in that moment that I was going to stay. And the responsibility that took. And I think that it's something that parents don't give themselves enough credit for is staying. Like, you can have a baby and give it up for adoption. That is a choice that you can make. But if you decide that you're going to have this child and you're going to stay with them, give yourself a pat on the back. Not all the time. Yeah, it's not Superman, Wonder Woman level shit, but like the Flash, Batman. Damn, I don't know, they're orphans. It's fine. But no, like give yourself some credit, because it was a choice that I actively made. It's kind of like when in queer spaces, when we talk about when did you decide to be straight, we don't ask that thing for parents. Right. When did you decide to be a parent? Because I've asked people that have kids in my kid's grade, like, when did you decide to be a parent? I didn't decide, it just happened. I'm like, then you and I are approaching this project in a completely different way. This right here is the closest thing I have to a chance of immortality. This meat machine was made by a very terrible designer. Have you seen my knees? They're garbage. Have you seen me try to eat bread? Don't hang out with me afterwards. Like, this was meant to get to this stage. This right here, this child is the future. And so building that system for them to live in is my most important priority. Teaching them that they will sometimes have to be tough, but it is more important to find the times that you can be soft.
Okay.
Where I am the one that was told to be tough. I was the one that's told to be this, that, and the other thing. So I will use that to soften the path in front of you so that you don't have to know what it's like to be tough. They did punch their first kid this year. I was proud of them. They called them a monkey and got punched. And like, it was a situation.
The other kid called my
kid they were playing monkey in the middle. My kid turned and was like, "Hey, I'm a black person. I do not like being called this." Yeah. And then the other kids were like, "Whatever, monkey." And my kid hit them. They first made sure no adult was looking. They second took care of it with one punch. After that, when I had the conversation with them, they said it was taken care of. I haven't told anybody else about it.
And we're cool.
My 5 followers. No,
I feel like, because it's one of the hard facts about the world we live in, that we constantly were told that violence wasn't an answer, but it's constantly used by those in power. Yeah. Like that, yeah. It
only serves to benefit them to indoctrinate us to not use violence.
I have a question to ask, because on this, because me and my friends, we do what's called intentional parenting. We I try to and one thing intentionally I teach my kids is the gray area. Like, we teach our kids right and wrong. But, we make sure, but there's that area in between that, like, it's the gray area. And the way I taught them was on Fridays at their school, they have popcorn day. And popcorn is 50 cents a bag. And I said, "What, $1?" And I say, "All right." And then the thing is, the kids rush to eat that food real fast, get in line, the popcorn usually sells out. So my son's like, "I'm missing popcorn," whatever. So I said, well, take the $1, go to the front of the line and just ask the kid, hey, if I pay for your popcorn, can I get in front of you?
Yep.
That's that gray area.
Yep.
That's the gray area, right? That's the where it's not wrong, but
that's the way to succeed in America, I think.
Correct. So like
I'm leaving, guys.
so I intentionally like say we teach kids to define, but there's things that there is a gray area. There's an area it's not right, but teach that. Like there's times to punch somebody in the mouth.
Yeah.
The
Right?
rule
There is that
followers
time.
only serve
Yeah.
the people who didn't follow the rules.
Yeah.
So when I'm not even gonna just
Dude, it's NFTs. Everybody.
Okay, let me ask you this. So when getting to your child, like when did they let you know that they want to transition, or like what was the experience?
So
was everyone on board?
Yeah.
Like what's that been like?
Yeah, this was wild. They were 3 years old when they asked what it was when you weren't a boy or a girl.
Okay.
They just wanted, like, an honest, just a child question. And in our family, in my life, the highest service is curiosity. Yeah. The world is big and crazy and strange, and the big thing that we always did was curiosity. Ask questions about everything. Why is that green? Why is the sky blue? I will answer any question they have. That's one of the best things we do in the car rides to and from school. They'll ask something, and sometimes it's like, who won this fight, the Hulk or Superman? And I'm like, that depends on who's writing them. And then,
and I go after it.
And then we'll get into those things, and so we just always go in. So they asked one time, we're like, oh, well, there are transgender people and non-binary people and a bunch of other different things. It depends on kind of what culture you're a part of. And they're like, okay, went about their day. 6 years old, we're having another conversation. They're like, okay, so, but if you're not a boy or a girl, what are you? And they're like, oh, you can be non-binary, you can be transgender, you can be all sorts of different things. Like whatever you want to be, just, stay alive. That's what I ask for. And one day we're having one of those fake family fights where everybody's like, you don't know me, I know you. And Sylv, the co-parent, turned and was just like, listen here, boy. And all of a sudden, the rage of the ancestors flashed in their eyes. And I was looking at 20 Mansa Musas and 1,000 Shaka Khans coming down on us. And they just said, you can't call me that.
Oh.
Wow. And now I had to be like, oh shit, she said, boy, they are black. Is that where this comes? How'd they learn this so soon? So I'm like going through the thing real quick, and I'm like, but we learned because curiosity. So we asked, what do you mean? And they said, I don't think I'm a boy. Okay. And I was like, okay, what does that mean? And they said, I want mani-pedis and a purse.
Let's
and I was
go.
like, you just want pockets, brah. And it'll look good. You in the city. I get it. Like, I can do a mani-pedi and get you a purse. And so we did. Right. And that was it. And and they right now use they, he pronouns, prefer they. And some people weren't with it, so they're not part of our lives anymore.
Family, friends?
Family, friends, anybody. Like, the core tenet of my ethical framework is I will not share a table with anybody who would share a table with someone who would bring harm to people I love. The whole like auntie and uncle that say crazy shit, if you want to have dinner with them, that's fine. I hold no ill will to you. It is not, and that's the hardest thing for people to understand, is I'm not saying anything negative about you. I'm saying that space is not for me. We have let too many things slide for too long. Too many creepy uncles. Too many blah blah blahs. Too many
grandma,
aunties.
she's just old. She doesn't know better.
People calling you fat and grabbing you and stuff like that when you were a kid. All that sort of stuff. If you would bring harm to somebody I love, I want a layer between us. If you voted for Republicans after Ronald Reagan, I want a layer between us. Like before you're probably dead. Hopefully, we all have dreams. But we've had to cut a lot of our life out, and fortunately, having been part of the queer community for so long as a pan bisexual myself, found family is better. The quote is, "The blood of the covenant is stronger than the water of the womb." That's the full saying. People say blood is thicker than water. That is not it.
Oh, interesting.
It is the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. Those that you decide to hang out with say more about you than anything that you do or say.
That's what my mom always said.
Flock together.
The best thing about being an only child is you get to choose your friends. You get to choose your family.
You get to choose who you
are.
are.
You get to choose your family. And that's, I hold that true. I tell people I friend hard.
Yeah.
Like I friend hard because my friends are my brothers and sisters. Like these are the ones I grew up. These are like, and my true brothers that I see them. We're all love, but no, I went to my friends that I grew up with since my I have 20 and 30-year friends.
Yep.
These are my, So
that's a Scorpio on you too.
Yeah.
I'm also an only child. Yeah.
I'm a Virgo, so I'm just always right. It's kind of a curse of mine.
And you're an asshole too.
I can only my son's a Virgo. I can only have a few of y'all around.
It's difficult when we're all right. I don't know what to say about it. But yeah, and I try to bring that. I consider myself kind of a leader in my community and an example to others. I really want people to really think about that sort of stuff. Like, who are you letting in your life that's going to bring darkness in a space that you're allowing? Because that's what you teach. Again, like compartmentalization, I am teaching them that it's okay to have these people around, that it's okay to listen to them, that the trauma that they're being inflicted upon as a blank slate baby child, that trauma was okay. That the auntie that said that you should probably go run or lift, you're looking fat, do you need that second plate? First off, yes. Secondly, who invited you back? And so we did. We cut out family, we cut out friends, we cut out anybody. We put it out with their permission and when they were ready, because at first they told us and we asked them, who can we tell, what do you want us to do about this? And they were like, right now I just want to work on it.
How old were they? You said
this
6?
This was 6.
And okay, let me ask you, because I'm like, is that a lot to put on a kid to say? When do you want to share it? I don't think so.
Okay. When do you want to share it out to the world? It's their news, and I guess they are also fortunate because they exist at a time where information travels faster than people. There are so many more pictures of my child online than there were pictures of me in my entire life. Yeah. And they're not even pictures that I all took. Family takes them, everybody else. Like, they are the constant public of everything right now allows for a lot of stuff. And so we were like, when you're ready, we can tell people. And if it's not harming you, when you hear he, him, then that's fine. If it was causing them harm to hear it, if it wasn't, I'm non-binary, if it's I'm a girl, then we would have been like, okay, we got to work some stuff. Do we need to build a new community? Do we need to switch schools? Do we need to start over somewhere so you can just be a new kid all of a sudden? But they were okay with it. They just in that moment had an anger that they didn't know they had. And then there was a lot of crying and talking, and we worked to all the bottom of it. We came up with the terms, and then it was fine. And that was 6. So that was second grade, somewhere around there. Somewhere around 4th grade, I realized a lot of people in the school were using he, him pronouns. And I was like, okay, Sip, how do you feel about that? And they're like, Dad, I'm working on dividing fractions right now. I really don't have time for my gender. And I was like, you know what? Who am I to tell you when to care about shit?
Okay. You are such an incredible parent.
It is a gift. It is. They've allowed this. I don't think that this parenting work is a thing that there is no one solution for parenting. Right. I mean, I feel like this podcast can only exist because there are modern families. There are all these other things. So we find what works in our situation. And if we have a solid ethical framework, if we have an idea of what our team goals are, then we can move forward. And it's one of those things like, I'm going to get done with this podcast. I'm going to go home and their bedtime is 9. And we're going to have a conversation about lying and the truth, because it's not like they're 13. They're going to lie to me for the next 5 years. Yeah. But you're in trouble for getting caught. I just can't say that anymore. That's how I was raised. That's how I was raised.
Just don't get caught.
Like I can't say that anymore because that's how I was raised. And I know the kind of criminal that brings up.
I told my kid that,
But yeah, being in that gray, teaching that gray, because I let so many of their little lies slide when they think they're being slick, and I'm just like, you know what? That was a good enough. That was above the line. I'm gonna let this one. I'm gonna let this one go.
I think I can't do lying.
That's absolutely fine.
And I also want to give space to maybe that's a developmentally appropriate thing for them to do, and it's insulting. I'm like, do you really think I'm that stupid?
I don't mind you lie to me. Like, don't lie to me. Like, what you say, however your character is to everybody else, you lie to everybody else.
Really? You don't want their character to be something in particular?
They ain't got shit to do with me.
For me,
what about the results they get in life because of that character?
Don't make me look like an asshole. Rule number 2.
What about them?
They got to figure that out, though.
They got to figure their life out. They have to figure that shit out. They have to figure. My parents told me so much shit that I just didn't do. And when I got to about 25, it was like, damn, I should have listened to you when you said this. But they have to figure that out. But I can give you, there's people have rules. Like you probably a ruler. You have rules.
No.
These are the rules. I have guidelines, right?
Oh, we always refer to
just kinda,
I don't do lying. Other things, I can
but
that's my thing.
Don't
I
like
can't
me.
do.
If the stories you tell to somebody else, because again, it might be a persona. They might be gullible. That's on them. I don't know. Right. But just don't lie to me. I have to know.
And for us, it's lying is a big thing for Sylvia. She's also on that thing, and it's hard for her because as a 20-year teacher and now a 2-year principal, she's sitting at a point where she deals with kids that do nothing but lie all the time. But at 13, at 14, I know there's if they could, they would have their own apartment, they would have their own life. I would never see them again, and so I know I'm holding them back because I'll go to jail if their life gets messed up. If they don't go to school, it's on me. But when it comes, I talk about it all the time. I was a liar. I was a really big liar. So I know the reasons why to do it. And I know that there are situations that it's going to be a skill that they need. So I do want them to know how to do that. But there are also things that can't be lied about. We cannot lie about safety.
Right.
If somebody has harmed you, I needs to know about that because I needs to go take care of it.
And we'll leave it at that.
Sorry, my farm voice was coming out.
I'm not sorry. I hear you.
That's the real. You're
1000%.
So I need them to know that I am always a safe place for them to be honest in, and they can I see so many people yell at kids, and I see the kids glass over, and I see it in the system where they get yelled at. And I see kids right now, we are in the middle of what is at least going to be a 12-year crisis in the public schools for COVID behavior. Like we have second graders that have never been in school. The social emotional learning, all the social emotional learning they were supposed to have leading up to this, they don't have. So now they have second grade muscles and second, third grade heights, and they be pushing, and they coming in it strong. And
my son got kicked in the nuts. Like by the strongest kid with the 6-pack. That's what he says. Oh, this is the kid with the 6-pack.
Can't be with the 6-pack, mommy.
I was like, of course I wanted to.
So what you actually do you say whoop his ass, or is it just okay?
I mean, I'm like, what do I want to share on podcasts? But I will say, that's where the co-parenting comes in, because we try to talk about it together. My baby daddy and his girlfriend, right? We all talk. We're like, okay, and sometimes we have a little bit of varying ideas, but at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, it's hard. I got a little black boy, right? It's like that balance of we
don't know what that's like, right? Unconcerned.
But I'm trying to find that balance of okay, I want you to protect yourself, but I also don't want you to be kicked out of school and then put on this path for not having a successful life. It's I'm like, okay, we've made you so you can communicate and not be physically reactive, but now you're getting stepped all over. And so yes, the end of the thing is hey, try these other things. If a teacher's not there to protect you, or if you've if my son is getting kicked in the nuts, he's not being protected. So he needs to protect himself.
Correct.
And so at the end of the day, I want him to protect himself. And we've told his teachers, we told the council, this is our strategy. We were together as co-parents. We join in that. You need to protect yourself. We do prefer that you start with stop. This hurts me, communicating. And then look around if there's a teacher, get their attention.
If not,
but if not, by all means, it's crazy. He's in boxing classes, but then also it's okay. He's a black boy. He's the tallest kid in his, he's the tallest. I'm sure you've had this experience. He's the tallest kid in his class. So even if he blows on somebody, the teacher's going to perceive it some way, right? And something more.
That happened to me. I got kicked out of 7th grade because the teacher thought I'd threatened her because I was finally getting taller than teachers.
Yep.
So what's that balance? What's the balance?
That's the crazy thing right now.
You just learn how to smile.
Smile up.
I'm going to need so much therapy.
Smile.
I'm going to need so many therapy.
Because if I just... then everybody's all weird. So I have to walk around and smile and make sure everybody knows. Because when I walk in a room and I don't smile, people really
tense up.
They tense up. So I have to go, hey, good morning. How you guys doing? High five.
Dang, you got to coddle these motherfuckers.
No, but it is just so people just...
So you can survive.
That was a trauma response for me. I grew up in an all-white town, Longview, Washington. So I grew up in an all-white town. So a trauma response for me was always smiling. I can get through damn near anything.
Same here, honestly. As a black woman, people assume you have an attitude. I went to predominantly white schools. So I'm like, look, I listen to alternative rock. I'm fine.
Journey.
Shout out. Smells Like Teen Spirit is one of my karaoke songs.
That's nice. That's nice. I guess so for fighting, they got in they've been hit a couple of times, but it's one of those things. I trust my kid. And I trust their judgment. And because that's in place, if they got kicked out of school for fighting, I'd be like, motherfucker, had it coming. Right. But I'm still going to learn the story. Like, in the end, like, if they were in the wrong, we're going to have that conversation about it. But if you push my sweet baby angel to the point where a non-violent, their mom was the teacher, so they always went and told. I had to have a conversation with them last year. I was like, you're making me the parent of a narc. I used to do crime. You can't do this to me. And they were like, sorry, Dad, this is me. And I was like, no.
That's my child too.
Yeah, so like I live with that. But if they had been angry like I was, if they had the same kind of burn inside of them that I saw, I would have gotten them into boxing. I would have got them into constructive things like that so that they had a place to put that. Yeah. My child is a stick their finger out and a butterfly lands on it if they start singing, now there's a canary. And I'm like, you are like 2 steps away from a Disney princess. What life you want to live right now? Like, you're running around Tiana. You're going to get turned into a frog. It's going to be an issue. I don't true love you. Get out of here. And so I don't know. Fighting's hard, and it's hard right now with how tense everybody is.
So tense.
Between, like, because I've never had a problem with another kid. I've had problems with everybody else's parents, though. Like, other people,
bet
like,
you're a sweet talker. I feel like you would do well. People say, hi, Mrs. Johnson.
You've had run-ins with parents where you've had to talk to meetings or some shit.
No. It's when their kid does something crazy and I look at their parents like, oh, Jimmy, oh, look at him. What a little guy. And I'm just like, nah, you need to talk to your kid. They're sitting at the top of the slide kicking kids in the face to go down. Like, I don't blame that kid for that. That kid, like, the frontal lobe hasn't set in yet. They ain't 25. Like, they got a real smooth brain. We got to get some wrinkles on there. And that's your responsibility.
Like, when you're on the playgrounds, do you say that you kind of like, I've seen those kids, or if they do, I just look at his playground. I don't ever say shit like, y'all figure it out.
Yeah. Unless it hits my kid, like, that's them. But I would, when on my baby shower, because again, didn't want to be a parent, so on the baby shower registry, I put all the Nerf weapons on there. So I had, this was back right when Nerf stopped making all the good Nerf, like, axes and stuff like that. So I got them. I got the Nerf axes. I got the little Nerf daggers.
For the baby shower, for the registry?
So I take them out to the park with the kids, and I'd throw them out there, and I had rules. No hitting in the face, or you have to hand yours off to the next person. No hitting your teammate, or you have to hand it off to the next person. If you get hit twice, you're dead. You have to hand it off to the next person. We start these fights until I blow the whistle. And so I'd constantly be teaching rules because, I mean, I even when I don't do things like this, the kids were outside being like, this stick is my giant gun. And I'm like, that's because you're American, bud. I can't take that away from you. It's osmosis at this point. But like, so we'd go in there and we just have rules about the whole situation. So we'd referee and stuff like that. But if you were being a little jerk, it got taken away from you. I was like, you can't, there are rules here. And parents would come up to me and be like, well, this doesn't seem fair. And I'm like, this doesn't seem like your stuff. And this doesn't seem like a private park.
So, like, tell me more, not to switch gears too much, but like Portugal, you want to, and do you have other partners that are going to move to Portugal next year?
Okay, we had talked about polyamorous terms for a second. So a nesting partner is somebody that you're living with. So I live with Sylvia at this point. We got back together through the family therapy over COVID. So
are you still co-parenting?
We are still co-parenting because it's not a mono, one house, one thing. I am dating 9 people at this point.
Okay. What's dating mean for you?
Too much goddamn time.
No, it's a complicated system of Google Calendars, understanding that you meet each other at shifts of the night. I don't know, like we sit in a Google call every now and again. We'll watch shows together, but like
how many people in one call?
Well, you can get as many as you want in there. But we get on Discord, and all of a sudden we're watching a movie together.
Oh, Discord! I've heard of this.
We gotta help you. We gotta help you. Your child is going to ruin your life.
That wasn't the one. Is there like an app geared towards people in a polyamorous relationship?
Probably, but we use Google Calendar. But like everybody, it's the rule of ultimate consent. Whoever has the smallest cup sets the standard. So if you only have this much time, then everybody understands that that's the amount of time that can go out through everything. If the system doesn't work for somebody, I sometimes don't see a couple of my partners for a couple of months. They have other nesting partners, people they live with, they're dating other people. But the entire poly web is about 75 people strong. And it's one of those things, nobody has veto power. We all live our own lives. We all live our own loves. But there've been moments where it's just like, listen, my entire nucleus of my poly solar system is around my child. Mm-hmm. My child is the sun. Mm-hmm. Sylvia and I are that Venus and Mars real close around. Mm-hmm. We have some satellite moons around us and stuff like that. But then there's people on the outside. Like I have a partner that I've been with for a decade in Texas. We met at conventions, and then we call each other comets or innkeepers. We see each other when we see each other, and it's still full love. We'll talk on the phone. We'll do all the sorts of stuff, but it's keeping that open family space for an amount of people that is correct for you, knowing that the other people are going to keep you safe in a way that you would expect out of a partner. Wow. And when that gets broken, there are breakups. There are people there that end. I'll lose entire brands. I've lost best friends. All of a sudden somebody breaks up with somebody, and my metamor was a best friend, and I was like, bye.
I guess
I'm sorry. We get like this is. You're on that side of the fence now. We got to build all this stuff back out. But like we all work together. We work together to help each other in our businesses, in our lives, in our dreams, our aspirations, and I mean, some of us, I'm dating two people that are non-aromantic asexual.
Okay, talk to me. Non-what?
So a lot of people consider asexual people aromantic. Aromantic people.
Yeah, what's aro? You gonna have
people that don't want romantic relationships. Like that's not the thing.
They just want to be friends.
Yeah, they just they have no interest in romantic love.
I'm out.
They have no interest, so they have no capacity.
Hold on. Because this is what I'm saying. Like there are people that's just not built into the system.
Okay.
When you look into their hardware, software, you look for the romantic slot, it's not there. But I'm dating two people that they are not aromantic, but they are asexual. They don't have any sexual expectations of me. Mm-hmm. They don't have any sexual expectations in their life. You look into the hardware and you're just like, what's here? And just like, oh no, this slot's taken.
Okay. They just want like the conversations and shit and all that.
So it's just that. It's just that close love, that romantic love.
You have a lot of love to give.
Yeah. But
beautiful. Going
back to that conversation at the beginning, I just used to tell people that I would cheat. And then I realized that that's not what I wanted. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I didn't want this compartmentalization. I didn't want these secrets. I didn't want these lies. I didn't want this exception. What I wanted was a big family. I come from a big family. We had 2-3 times a month, 50-person dinners on Wednesday when everybody would come home. And this is out in the country, my all-white family. Like we were thick as thieves out there. And when my great-grandfather passed away, that all broke apart. That all broke apart. Everybody started infighting. Everybody wanted to know who was getting this and what was getting what.
Oh, wow.
And I watched it disintegrate, and I watched how it hurt everybody. And it took me 15 years to get to a point where I had healed enough, I had done enough therapy, and I was in a position with enough people that I trusted to try building a big family again. Okay. And so it's everything to me right now.
Does your child know all? Have you introduced have you introduced any of your partners,
They know everybody that I'm dating. We do big family dinners. We do cookouts up in Ballard, which throws the Ballard community into chaos because they're like, oh, no, a squadron of black people have taken over 58th Street.
Jeez.
and your partners black? They're all different.
They're all different. They're all different across gender, race, everything. And we've just built a big family where we all just like being around each other. Mm-hmm. And it's really nice. And it's been a level of peace I didn't think I ever deserved. And now I am 100% convinced that I've earned it.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
As Scorpio, I want to have sex with everybody. So
Okay. As a Scorpio, I don't need to have sex with everybody.
No, I'm saying me. I'm saying if I have all these people, I don't want to just talk to everybody. Like, I don't have that space to we just talking. I just want to.
Right.
You just want to just talk and Go home. No. So
no, it's and it's meeting people at where their needs are and knowing what I'm capable of. And so I'm polysaturated at this point. I couldn't. Which is
science.
This is it.
Fuck is poly?
I can't date any more people. It would be irresponsible. It would be irresponsible. But you have to find out. It would be irresponsible for me. It would take away because my cup is now full. And that's something you learn through experience. Polysaturated.
I love that. A play on words.
Sorry, it's too many.
But yeah, so it's really, and so the kid knows all about it. The kid's in the community. They see the whole thing. They know.
Is there other kids?
I was gonna ask.
No, right now there are 2 other kids under 15. In the community, and they get along fine, but like my kid doesn't really care about they don't care about the same things. One of them likes making swords and fighting, and the other one is into first person shooting video games like Fortnite, and my kid's like, but Minecraft.
Right, that's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really powerful. I mean, at the end of the day, like, we celebrate, you know, non-traditional families, if you will. I don't like having this is traditional, like this is special, this is unique, and I just love that you shared your story, and it's just like, I'm like, my mouth is shut. I'm like just listening, and at the end of the day, there's not only one way to family beautifully and like in a great way, a fulfilling way. And I think people get really hung up on this idea of what family should look like. And I'm hoping that through X's and Babies, we can continue to like showcase like really fulfilled, healthy families that are not one gender and the other, right? They're not like just all in the same household. That fulfillment and happiness can be found in so many different structures. And I feel like you've exemplified that. So I really appreciate that. I really appreciate you sharing your story.
Get out of the country before the next election.
Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, so wait. How did y'all land on that? And are some of those partners going to go with you to Portugal? Yes. Why Portugal? Like, what?
Okay,
so... Are you starting a commune?
No, maybe. Depends on land prices. They're way cheaper there.
But
no, more importantly,
I want to come visit.
We're living so we're going to live south of Lisbon. So the big thing was everything happened in 2020, the death of George Floyd, everything else, and we really took stock about what we were going to do about all this. And after about 6 months, we hit a moment where I realized that I had felt this way before. And it's when somebody was picking on one of my best friends for being gay in 7th grade, and I got the shit kicked out of me. Like, kicked on the ground, bloody, loose teeth, nose would have been broken if it wasn't so flat. And I picked myself up, and I knew that I was still right, but I knew that I had lost the fight. Mm-hmm. And when that filled my heart again, I knew that I had to get as many people out of here now. And so we waited until COVID was over. We waited until summer of 2022, and we did 4 countries, 14 cities, 7 schools in 2 weeks.
And that's to search for this new home.
To search for the new home, because we lost here. I don't see a path forward. And so we got to go. And
you think these other places are better?
Just different.
How much does it cost you to get an X-ray?
You have to have a lot of reasons.
My kid broke their wrist in Portugal, saw 4 specialists, got 3 X-rays, cost us 20 euros.
Damn.
When you don't have to survive, you can thrive.
Okay.
When the police aren't pulling you over because you happen to be driving while black, you can get to where you need to go. There is no such thing as a perfect place. But right now, this is war, and I'm not raising a warrior. I want my child to live.
Okay.
I am tired of hearing my community ask for their black boys and girls and others to stop being killed in the streets. So I'm not asking anymore.
I'm just leaving. I just don't even have to deal with it.
I'm leaving. I'd completely divested from the U.S. I have gotten rid of everything I have but my citizenship until I get my visa over there, and I'm gone. My child is an EU citizen, so it's a little bit easier in that path. But every single day, people walk here from worse situations. What's to stop us from leaving to save ourselves? Like, everybody's so rooted in this is where I am, this is where I'm supposed to be, I have a home, I have family, take them. And what won't come, send them calls. But we gotta go. Our kids can't stay here. It's about to get worse.
It's gonna get worse.
We are 20 years away
election
from, we are 20 years away from running out of water in the Southwest. We are not doing anything about anything. And the thing that we kept waiting for, the correct time, is all they need to finish pulling out the rest of these resources and leaving themselves. There's nothing here. We're done. We lost.
What do you say to folks who say, okay, that's kind of extreme? There's some hope. We've had some wins. Like, we've got Juneteenth now.
Yeah. I don't argue with them because I'm not here to fight. I'm leaving. I've said my piece. That's it. It is a great tragedy. I've lost. What do you say to the kid who picked themselves up off the street, carried themselves home, bloody and broken, and then you're like, well, you got some good licks in. We've lost.
We lost. It's a wrap.
What's next for us here? We've said the same thing for 6-7 generations, and now what?
Let me ask you, how'd you get the family on board? So I want my family to listen to this, because 2020, Corona started, I was put an offer in for a piece of property as a bar and residential in Barbados. So I was like, I'm going like same thing. Like Barbados had one of those travel visas you could pay and go work from Barbados. I'm like, I'll work remote. Let's go to Barbados. And I was just trying to convince my unit to go, and that didn't work.
Well, you didn't decide your life.
That part,
I guess it wasn't easy. It wasn't anything we came to in an instant.
How long, like in a timeline?
It was a 6-month conversation about what it would take, what we would need to do, and everything else. And a lot of it was also deprogramming a lot of the confusion we have about what it means to have the tag American associated with us, because that's just it. Like, what do you like? I see people in the streets, and I could be like, hey, I'll give you a house in another country if you move, and they'll be like, I'm an American. And I'm just like,
all right, that's more valuable to me.
Listen, I can't. And we're 18 months now into the planning of going. I have 11 families moving to 6 other countries, some in Asia, some into Italy and Greece, a couple into Britain. I'm getting everybody out. As for us, it is going to be myself, 2 of my partners, and my child moving to Lisbon. Come and visit. I will burn your visas and passports, and you're staying. Yeah. It is.
Wait, what?
Don't worry about it. Why you got to ask questions? Are you the police?
I love my blue book.
My
blue passport.
But what is it like to never have to worry about a gun in your kid's school?
Yeah, things like that.
I just went to the Gorge over the weekend.
They had the incident.
They had the incident, another gun violence situation. I mean, I work at Microsoft. An employee stabbed another employee outside the door. So
really?
Yeah.
That's the office I choose not to go to every day.
Oh, really?
But which is nice. I love that I don't have to show up to work.
Shot at Gorge was high on mushrooms, though, so that's different.
Mushrooms.
I'm high on mushrooms right now. That doesn't make me shoot
mushrooms
you.
Don't make me pull up.
I know. Me, as a
not that I would know.
As a partaker of myself, I didn't think so either. But that's what I heard.
Yeah. But we the school that we're going to, ULIS. We ran into a teacher that actually had just finished paying off her house in Seattle, which is great. Her husband is 20-year Navy, now retired, yada, yada, yada. And they decided to move back there. And she got a job at this school. And the classrooms are floor-to-ceiling windows internally facing. And the other teachers came by the day after she was hired, and they had asked her why she had put curtains up in her classroom. And she said, in case somebody comes in, I can keep my kids safe. The fact that we haven't left already after Columbine and everything else is an actual slight against all of parenting. This isn't something that's getting fixed. It's something that's getting worse. We got to go.
But who's going to fix? Someone's got to stay put.
No, you don't.
No. Why? Rome fell. Rome
the empire
fell.
They're talking the empire's
Rome
falling.
fell.
Something's there now.
Yeah. What's next? You don't want to be here for this.
Okay.
So as far as what you can do, you have conversations, you try to find a middle ground, you try to find some kind of a thing to see if it can work. And for some people, they're not going to find that peace. I was talking to some people who don't have custody, and they're like, I can't go because they will never leave. And I'm like, I understand, just stay safe. But it is time. The public school system is only going to be around for another 4 or 5 years before it turns completely privatized. Child labor laws are being repealed, and younger kids are going to be working more and more dangerous situations. I had a job at 14 at a KFC and A&W, not in a coal mine, and I'm not sending my kid to any work until they get to the age where they can be doing it. Like, we have to go to where people care about people.
That's true.
And yeah.
I will say, like, so I work in policy at Microsoft, and all the policies that are like, duh, we should be doing this. This is good for humans, like protecting humans, protecting your privacy, a lot of accessibility, making sure things are accessible. That's all coming from the EU.
Yeah.
I was like, where's the U.S.
No.
regulation on, and we got California doing a little something, right?
Data and any of that.
Yeah.
That.
But like,
digital
it's
footprint.
always the EU, and part of me is like, oh, here we go, France again, like telling you exactly what's in your products, so you know when you're buying a laptop, like what carcinogens might be in that product that you're touching and breathing all day. But that's from France. I haven't yet to see, and please someone correct me if I'm wrong, I've yet to see a U.S. law that comes in and says, hey, we care about humans, environments, and this and that. And we want, if you're going to sell products to our U.S. citizens, you have to make sure there's these disclosures.
Sorry, that's socialism, and we don't do that here.
Don't talk about
I am
Dang, you might have some converters. I will say I just try to get my ex and my ex's partner to think about Atlanta. I was like, there needs to be around more Black people. I want to be around more Black people. And even then they're like, nope, we've got our dream house. Like we're Atlanta. The fuck? Like this is where we're meant to be. And like I'm like, okay, I don't think my ex loves a lot of change either, just from what I've experienced. And so I said that to say,
yeah, like
we'll see.
like you did a great job. Like again, ours is the school is where it's my co-parent and her concerns. Like, well, our daughter's in this elite school, and and it's like, but we can pay for private school,
right,
or whatever elite school in whatever country. Like we're paying it here,
right?
Like I can pay for 10 schools at another country.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
Well, our kid will be going to, it's a private school because they are not, while they are linguistically fluent, they are not writing fluent or academically fluent in Portuguese. So they couldn't write the language. But British and American schools are open in every nation.
Yeah.
Our curriculum is everywhere because the curriculum is dope. The funding is gone. The curriculum is great. The funding doesn't exist. Like but it's, so it's going to be a whole thing. And I think it's just have those hard conversations, let people in as much as you can, and lead by example. If you gotta go, you gotta go. And I'm going to miss everybody that I leave behind. But I told my grandmother, when we decided to leave, I was like, that means Nan, you got 2 years to get me at your funeral because I'm not stepping foot on American soil again. 6 months later, she was like, I got you, bitch.
Oh, no. That's crazy.
She was 86. She had done everything she could.
He said, man, it's time.
She's like, all right, well.
How dare you challenge me?
No, actually, my grandma would always say, I know you like to travel, but don't you ever move out of the country until I'm dead. I was like, damn, all right.
Yeah.
I don't want that burden.
She passed away. But dang, that's powerful. I really appreciate your perspective, and I feel like you've given our listeners a lot of things to think about outside the box, because this isn't the mainstream narrative, right? Already Exes and Babies is not the mainstream narrative, but you bring another element to it to keep us thinking and freeing ourselves. That's what, at the end of the day, what you've talked about is really talking about freeing yourself to be your true self, whether that be like sexual orientation, gender identity, relationship structures, right? And then where you're living and sense of safety and things like that. And so I feel like you are the epitome of like true liberty and like freedom, liberation. And so I'm gonna be stalking you, seeing your journey.
Are you posting online or
no? I also quit using social media. I'm the only social media manager.
I feel like of course you're not.
I'm the only social media manager that doesn't use social media. That's my side hustle. Gosh. I was a YouTuber in 2010. I rapped about video games online in a group called Area of Defect. You heard of the game League of Legends? I got 3 albums.
Three albums?
Based off of League of Legends. I've done 2 tours. It was great. I had a YouTube channel in 2010.
Many lives, I feel.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to be happy. Like, and what I didn't realize when I was hustling so hard is that I could also be at peace.
Yeah.
And in that kind of liberty that I found when we'd made that big decision, when I knew that I was going to have to do something wild, that I was going to have to walk away from everything, like the peace that came with knowing that I was making the best choice at the greatest cost. Like it's breathtaking. But after everything that happened over COVID, after all the conversation that went nowhere, after everything that kind of started burning down, I walked away from social media. I don't post on anything. I'm not involved anywhere. I do my little thing in the corner. I work my side jobs. I take care of my kid, and I watch TikToks and don't post them. Like that's it.
Yeah, I feel it. So, what advice do you have for other co-parents as we wrap up? When it comes to anything you've spoken on, like, raising your child who has a different gender identity and moving to Portugal, things like that, anything.
Yeah. I think get the parenting plan done and signed. I know people don't want to get the courts involved and stuff like that, but get him involved. Get him.
Mr. Fuck them courts.
Yeah.
But get a
mediator involved. Get all of that involved, because I see so many people in so many terrible situations because they have no leg to stand on, no plan down.
Full transparency, I do not have one.
Best of luck to you. I mean, it sounds like you have things worked in though.
Attention, like we have principles, we've written things down, we've documented things which technically could stand in court, maybe.
Yeah, it'd be an agreement.
But no, we do not have. We're able to talk things through, and there's things that frustrate me, but it's about like sports, and we always are able to come around. Yeah. So I mean, sure, we should, and like totally, like how can I be a co-parent coach if I haven't gone through that? But
no, people sign year-long leases every year and won't sign a parenting plan, and I'm like, come on, guys. Even if it's in there that it needs to be renewed, you mean you're going to take a mortgage, but you're not going to take the safety of your child off paper?
Like make it on a contract? A renewable parenting plan. I never thought that.
Yeah,
I like that
because life changes.
Yeah,
25.
Our shit.
Absolutely.
I might have to look at our shit been sealed or done.
You don't have a choice. You wake up every day and go to sleep by the grace of her.
Okay, dang. We're gonna unpack that later.
I just told like that. Like, hey, I just told her and my partner just the other day how somehow they were talking about how great they are, and I was like, okay, I said even Scottie Pippen got 6 rings. Like, you can beat Jordan. I benefit too from these beautiful kids.
I guess another one would be listen to your kids. That's a really big hurdle. I believe as an elder millennial, I see younger millennial parents and like, yeah, I got it. I listen to my kids all the time, but like we weren't taught to be listened to. We were meant to be seen, not heard.
Yep.
Listen to your kids. They are brilliant in ways that you can't understand. If it is inside of you that you believe you own your child, really look at that. Like that was a really big one. Like you are mine versus like we are in this together, and that kind of community talk, that team, that community. Because I don't own them. I just here for the ride until they put me in the ground. like I'm just here. I'm gonna see so much cool stuff because they get to do stuff that I'll never think of. It's why one-person companies aren't billion-dollar companies. It's a million minds with a million different thoughts. These kids are out there learning stuff that I'm just like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna need you to define that.
Right.
Beautiful. And I guess back to the first one, it's get a parenting plan together, period. And then be honest.
No,
you have one together is why I was changing it.
Oh, okay.
Like be malleable, change. Like your kid's going to come into your life, change. Your kid's going to turn 6 and be a different person, change. Don't expect them to be that same person.
I want to make sure everyone gets that. Like,
we change.
We have to support and nurture their experience.
Yeah. And whatever they come up with. And all of a sudden, I mean, I learned so much stuff because my kid has to learn it for school or because something's coming up in their mind and they want to know about something. All of a sudden, I'm like, well, a bumblebee's wing actually has to vibrate at a certain frequency to be able to keep it aloft because their active bodies are too chunky for the little side wings to keep
my kid to you sometimes because they'll ask questions like, he's like, well, what happened in the 60s with televisions? I'm like, I wasn't there, and I hate asking Siri for stuff.
Oh,
but let's
Google Foo. You gotta work that Google Foo.
That's why I'm like, use your little
for you too.
Yo, for real, thank you so much. This has been really dope and informative and like, I don't know, paradigm shifting.
We can do it again.
Absolutely.
I got 14 months.
Okay.
I got 14 months before I'm out. Yeah, August 2024.
Okay. Congratulations, by the way, on getting that far in your decision.
Congratulations. That is amazing.
And thank you, Rashaad, for being here.
It was so much fun.
Such a pleasure.
I had a blast. So hopefully I have, did okay.
Yeah, I'll get you up to Ballard. I'll get you all up to Ballard. We'll have a cookout. It'll be great.
Ballard. Okay, only for you.
It's a weird place. It's so weird.
It's hard to get in and out to Ballard.
15 minutes away from Ballard.
And Seattle, an hour away from
Ballard
Seattle.
is 15 minutes away from Ballard.
All right. Well, thank you all. Appreciate it.